Hi, welcome to Yoga with Amy. Today we're going to do a practice to help support those of us with anxiety. In yoga, we think of anxiety as energy, not energy that's bad, perhaps, but more so stuck in certain aspects of our energy field and in our physical body, causing us to have anxious thoughts, feeling stressed and overwhelmed. So, the practices that we'll do today were designed to help to discharge that excess energy and then to harmonize and ground that energy so that it can reintegrate to its natural place within our body and in our energy field. So let's get started. We're going to come to child's pose. Let the knees come about as wide as the mat and two big toes in towards each other. Extend your arms out long and let your forehead rest to the floor. So we're going to create a sound in our child's pose. There's been a lot of research that supports the benefit of creating sound and supporting our mental health. This particular sound helps to lengthen the exhale, and that long exhale is what we're going to search for when we're experiencing anxiety, as it turns on the parasympathetic nervous system response. This is rest, digest, heal, and ground aspect of our nervous system. So your forehead will touch down to the floor, and if it isn't, you can always take a fist down and let your forehead rest to the fist, or maybe two stacked on top of each other. And the sound we create is a sound and you'll imagine like you're vibrating the sound at that space between the eyebrows at the center of the brain. Deep breaths in and exhale for sound. As long of an exhale as you can. Two more at your own pace. You might rock your forehead side to side, massaging the forehead at the earth as you do this, reaching for that grounding earth energy that we seek. And just sigh it out when you're ready. Good. We'll meet in a kneeling position. Knees are hip distance. We're going to move into a sun salutation practice called flying cow. This is meant to disperse the energy. So the focus is going to be on following your breath. And if that's the only thing you will do, then you have practiced well. So in your next inhale, sweep your hands all the way up overhead. Stretch and reach for the sky. As you exhale, nice and slow, lower to the floor. Ground your palms and then your forearms. As you inhale, pop up onto the fingertips if that feels okay. Arch your spine into cow shape. Open through your heart. As you exhale, curl the tailbone in, round the spine. Send the hips back to your heels. And then inhale, slide back up. Open heart. Maybe you take a little bit of a back bend. Imagine all that excess energy from the chest, the head, the mind releasing out here. And as you exhale, let it all go, ground it, give it to the earth. It can recycle it and make it new. And then on your inhale, up onto your fingertips, arch the spine. And as you exhale, round back, sitting back to the heels. And then you'll inhale, spring up, open through the heart. Release it. And then exhale, letting it be sucked down into the earth's core where it can be recycled and renewed. On your inhale, pop up onto the fingertips, open through the heart. And the exhale, curl in, round the spine. Nice slow exhales here. Release your hips to the heels and spring up. Maybe even goalpost the arms now. And as you exhale, nice and slow, lowering all the way down to the forearms. Inhale, popping up onto the fingertips, open heart. Exhale, round back, sitting back to the heels. We're going to do 3 more rounds here at your own pace. Inhale, open. You might take some side bends there. Exhale, nice and slow. Onto the forearms. Inhale, that cow shape. Draw the shoulder heads back. Exhale, round to sink the hips back to the heels. Last one, spring up. Maybe take the hands behind the head if that feels okay. Exhale, nice and slow. Forearms. Inhale, pop up onto the fingertip. Exhale. Good. Settle into a brief child's pose here. And then lifting up into a downward facing dog, hips to the sky. Moving here just for about 3 breaths, bending the knees and the heart and chest to the thighs. Exhale, extend back into the legs. As you inhale, bend the knees, and exhale, extend. So focus on the breath here. When we soothe anxiety, linking the breath with the body is one of the most important things we can do in yoga. This helps us drop us into the body and into the breath where the life is happening. Anxiety wants to go to the future or the past. 2 more. Good. Settle into your downward dog. Sense your palms and your feet grounded into the earth. Imagine you're pulling up that grounding earth energy up through the palms and up through the feet, bringing it into the core of your being. And then as you exhale, you're just letting go of everything that's obstructing that from happening. Big, long exhales. 1 more. Good. Nice and slow. Bend your knees and release back into tabletop. Take your time to step your right foot between the hands and heel till the right foot up enough so that the ankle is below the knee. Press on top of the right thigh and lift up into a low lunge. Here, if it feels okay, sink into your seat. We're going to stretch that back muscle, the psoas muscle. This is our fight or flight muscle. It resides within both sides, but in the quadricep to the inner side of the left thigh here. And it might rise up into the belly, the low belly. The psoas attaches to the spine. Good, and we'll take our hands to either side of this right foot and untuck those back toes if we can, and just let your head hang. Breathing into that stretch down the back leg if you feel it. Notice if there's a holding. The psoas muscle, contracts when we're stressed or overwhelmed. It's not a bad thing, that's its job, but it tends to be more contracted more often than it needs to be in our modern days. 1 more breath. Good. We'll start to lean our seat back and then send that right leg back and step the left foot forward and then go ahead and sink right on in. We'll go right into the stretch on this side. Good. And then framing that left foot, sink into your seat, stretching the back psoas muscle. Feeling the stretch perhaps down the inside of the right thigh and maybe even into the right low belly or side waist. And you can let your head hang. Good. When you finish your next exhale, take your time to ease back up out of the seat. Send that left leg back. Sink briefly back to the heels, and then swing the legs around in front of you. We're going to take 2 forward folds here. So forward folding are the most grounding for the anxious mind. But at first, when we're really anxious, it's difficult to go right into the grounding poses, which is why we moved and flowed a little bit to help to disperse some excess energy. So soles of the feet together here. Scooch your seat a little bit side to side. Take your hands to the ankles, or if it's okay, reach, interlace around the toes. Take a breath in for length. And as you breathe out, folding inward, elbows to the inside of the body or elbows to the outside of the shins, letting your head and neck hang. Relax the face muscles, relax the jaw. I'm going to invite you to do a breathing practice here. It's called 1-to-2 ratio breath. So the idea is that the exhalation is 1 count longer than the inhale. And again, that long exhale helps to ignite the parasympathetic nervous system response, that calming, grounding aspect of our nervous system, helping to move away from the fight or flight response that we don't need to be in right now. Good. So I'll count the breath for you. If you need to lengthen it longer, you go for that. If you need to make it shorter, you go for that. On your inhale, breathing in, 2, 3. As you exhale, breathe out, 2, 3, 4. As you inhale, breathe in, 2, 3. As you exhale, breathe out, 2, 3, 4. Inhaling, breathe in, 2, 3. Exhaling, breathe out, 2, 3, 4. And so like this at your own pace, doing about 3 more breaths. When you complete your next exhale, take your time. Slowly make your way back up. Draw the knees towards each other and extend them out long, Paschimottanasana. Here, if it feels right, scooch the flesh around up from underneath your sit bones so you're centered at your seat. Flex your toes towards your knees. Breathe in, reaching up. Breathing out, hinge from the hips and fold forward over the legs. Taking the hands to the shins, the ankles, or the feet, whichever feels best for you. You can bend your knees here if that's right. This is not so much about reaching for the toes as it is about grounding that energy, right? So find a stretch that feels like it's deep enough that you're accessing new flexibility, but also in a way that you can breathe with ease. And I'll invite you again to go on that 1-to-2 ratio breath, lengthening your exhale by 1 count. I'll let you count on your own this time. If you prefer not to count, you can just estimate that the exhale is a bit longer than the inhale. Taking 2 more breaths at your own pace. Maybe you go deeper in your stretch if the body says yes. When you complete your next exhale, nice and slow, roll your way back up. And we'll come to sit for a brief meditation, sitting crisscross or however is comfortable for you. Doing your best to sit up as tall as you possibly can. You might be seated on a prop like a blanket. We're going to take a mudra. Mudras are hand gestures. They're an ancient part of the yoga practice, meant to facilitate opening and grounding in the body and the mind. This mudra is called Earth Mudra. We're going to take the two peace fingers, connect them together, and then place them to either side of you. Pressing the two peace fingers into the earth, lengthen up through the spine and relax the shoulders down and away. The mudra's Sanskrit name is Bu Mudra, and Bu means earth. This mudra is meant to calm and ground the mind and body and access that earth energy, bringing us down into our roots, connecting us to Mother Earth and her stability, structure, foundation. And I'll let you decide if you'd like to remain neutral in your breath, so that means the breath is unchanged, or if you'd like to continue to deepen your breath, lengthening your exhale. If the counting soothes your mind, then count your breath. If not, just estimate that the exhale is longer than the inhale. Do your best to reroute the mind back to the breath. We'll take 2 more breaths here together. Complete your exhale. Bring the hands together, thumb knuckles to the heart. Let's take a cleansing breath. This is where we sigh nice and big out of the mouth, letting go of all that excess energy that still remains. So just let go of all the air you have now. Inhale deep. Sigh it out. Thank you for practicing. Namaste.